Where'd my seats go? Oh yeah, that's right. Sold them. What's up, guys? Welcome back. We have some parts for the Camaro in this video. Finally got some parts coming in instead of going out. Sold the original motor, sold the original transmission, a couple of other accessories off the motor, and I also sold those original seats. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But yeah, we have some new seats for the Camaro, seat brackets, and also get the parts that we need to convert this car to a manual transmission. So 3 pedals instead of 2. So all those parts are here. We're gonna knock those out in this video. But let's start with the seats. So let's get right into some unboxing footage and have you guys get a look at these things and go from there.
Give it a shot. Do you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, these will do just fine. So these are my new Corbeau RRX. I really like the seats that were in the car when I bought them. They were, I believe, factory seats that were reupholstered with TMI foam and obviously the upholstery. The issue I have with them is I don't like that they don't have headrests. And obviously the build that we're going for here is a pro touring build, performance build. There wasn't a lot of, lateral support on those seats. I don't know, I just feel like this car deserves a more, racing style seat. So we sold those and picked up these Corbeaus. I was originally going to do Recaros, but I found these seats. I think this is a relatively new design by Corbeau, and I just think that they look awesome. Super sporty design. The price point really, couldn't even touch Recaro. Lead times on Recaros are pretty long. And quick interesting story with these seats, I actually called Corbeau and said, do you guys have these in stock? And they said they're going to be shipping the week of the last week in April. And it's the 2nd or 3rd week in January right now. So that wasn't going to do. Everything, lead times are all messed up everywhere right now. But I actually found these down in Atlanta on Craigslist. Some guy put the driver's seat in his STI for one day, and he was like 6'4", and the shoulder belts were pulling him down, so they didn't fit. Passenger side had never even been out of the box. Driver's side sat in, one time. Got him to ship them up to me, got them 2 days later, so now we got them. A couple of brackets on Summit, and we basically have a brand new set of Corbeau RRX racing seats ready to roll. They fit. I'm 6 foot, 195 pounds or so. They fit me extremely well. I can already tell they're comfortable, gonna give me a good amount of support, and like I said, they look sick. They're gonna look awesome in the car. So yeah, without further ado, let's start getting these things mocked up. I don't want to put them in permanently just yet because we still have some wiring to do under the dash for not only the Holly, but which is not here yet, but also the pedals, clutch and gas, brake. And obviously that is 10, 15, 20 times easier when there's no seats in the car. But we do want to get them mocked up, make sure everything fits, see how they look in the car, make sure I'm going to have headroom. That was another thing I forgot to mention about the previous seats is when I got in the car, like I said, I'm 6 feet and my head was on the headliner. which is obviously not comfortable. I don't know if it was the brackets or what, but also even with the seats all the way back in that car, I was, driving the car like this. It was basically undrivable. And I decided not to put any effort into that because I just didn't want those seats anyways. So replacement seats are here. First thing we got to do is get the seat on the bracket, and then we can get the whole thing in the car. So let's start doing that and see how they look. Oh, I'm getting old. Also forgot to mention, you guys probably noticed I did some work with the steamer there. One of these seats got shipped upside down so that they could fit in one box, which kind of squished the headrest, for lack of a better term. So I had it out of the box for the weekend, didn't really improve. So I took my steamer to it, steamed, kind of worked the vinyl, worked the foam, and now it's like it never even happened. So if you guys have any wrinkles in your vinyl or leather or whatever, just use a steamer. If you have one, I think a hairdryer or heat gun will work as well, but I think the steamer is safer as far as potentially burning something. So if you got a steamer, take out wrinkles, looks good. Anyways, let's get these seats mounted to these brackets and see if we can't mock them up in the car. With room to spare, let's try these things out. Oh, yeah. Good armrest height. It's always important in a cruiser. These things fit great. Right off the bat, we have clearance. Not much, but certainly more than before. So these sit a little bit lower, which is what we wanted. They're also farther back. I can comfortably reach the gas pedal instead of being all scrunched up like I was before. Should grab the steering wheel, see how that is. Let's do that real quick. Skirt! Gas pedal, check. Steering wheel, much better. Not into it at this point. So that's good. I'm happy with this. You can see, you know, if I gotta hold the wheel up since it's not bolted in, but it's a more comfortable position. Before I was kind of up here. The car was almost undrivable. I don't know what was up with those seats or the tracks or whatever, but this is much better, much more driver friendly. The seat is all the way back right now, so I'm glad that we're able to get it like this. It would almost be good if it could go back a tiny bit more, but I'm basically in the rear seat, so I guess this is just a small car problem. I think that this is going to be fine. So they look really good in the car. They match the rest of the interior really well. I just have the front 2 bolts loosely bolted in right now because, as you know, we've got some work going on under the dash for new gauges and eventually the Holley Terminator. So I'm not going to completely bolt these seats in yet because it makes it so much easier to, you know, work under the dash when there's no seats in the car. So we know they fit, we know they look good, the brackets line up with the factory holes in the floor perfectly. Shout out Corbeau for making a good bracket that fits. I know that the rear bolts on the bracket is going to be a little difficult to get to because they kind of bend under the seat itself. Not ideal, but again, that's why they're just loosely bolted in right now. So hopefully we only have to do that once. Seats, check. So let's go see what else we can find on that list. Maybe do something about the fact that there's only 2 pedals down here and there should be 3.
One eternity later.
Weeks later, we finally have some parts to make this thing go from 2 pedals to 3 right here. So we have a Mcleod Hydraulic clutch kit. So this will mount a hydraulic master cylinder to the firewall, and also an OEM reproduction clutch and brake assembly from an original, you know, 4-speed car. I believe this kit actually comes with a clutch as well, but you can only buy these. You can't just buy this brake pedal. So, you know, it is what it is. This was relatively cheap, 75 bucks for this. This was a little more expensive, but this is the important stuff. So let's open this up and see what we got inside. All right, so here's what we got. Let's see, first you got the reservoir. This is where you'll put your brake fluid, aka clutch fluid. Here's the probably most expensive part and most important part of the kit is your master cylinder linkage. So this end, this bushing, spherical bushing will connect to the pedal somehow, I assume. This bolts to the firewall, and then your hydraulic fluid comes out that, there's probably 4AN line right here to this 4AN line down to your clutch, and then this end will connect to you know, an aftermarket slave cylinder, or you can buy a GM fitting that will allow to connect to a GM slave cylinder, which is probably what I'll do. I've had great luck running OEM GM slave cylinders, so that's probably what I'm gonna do. Hardware, stickers, always important. Like I said, this pedal, which looks, maybe it is a little different. Doesn't have the holes there, and then it does have an extra bracket up there, so maybe we did need to have this instead. Anyways, pedal, and then I believe this bracket, which is what it's going to bolt to, has to be bolted to the back side of the brake booster there to basically hang the other thing. This thing is hefty. It's like 3/8 steel, powder coated. So looks like a pretty complete kit. It's got good reviews online. So first things first, let's get that big old brake pedal out, and then I think we're going to need to separate this master cylinder out and you know, slip that bracket in, and we'll go from there. So follow along. Let's convert this to a manual car. All right, guys, quick update. So here's the pedal kit that I ordered online. And I wish I had noticed this since I've had this part for weeks now, but I don't know if this is the wrong part or what, but basically when this is bolted into the pedal hanger, you can see the clutch pedal, if it was pressed, basically hits the brake pedal. Even if it doesn't, way too close together for clutch and brake, in my opinion. So instead of waiting to get the right parts, just return that. And now knowing that my Mcleod kit came with a clutch pedal, simply decided to modify my automatic pedal, brake pedal, put a stopper in the correct spot here, basically bent this portion back here, bending it away from the clutch pedal, cut up the pedal itself, a little bit of welding, grinding, a little bit of paint, and this is what we got. So let's put this in the car, get the master cylinder and all that bolted up, and see if we can't make this thing a 3-pedal car. All right, just checked the clutch setup off the list. So we officially have a manual car, technically, even though there's no drivetrain in the car. She's a manual. Got the master cylinder mounted behind the brake booster there. See your clutch line, which I just have looped up there for now, but it'll go down to the transmission to the slave cylinder. Mounted the reservoir right here, so you can fill this with brake fluid. Clears the hood hinge, no problem. Sits right above it. Good to go there. The fun part. Oh, geez, I forgot there was no seat there. I think it just broke my tailbone. Anyways, we got 3 pedals. This gas pedal is going to be replaced with probably a drive-by-wire pedal, but got my brake pedal here, which is actually my modified factory automatic brake pedal, and Mcleod clutch right there, all spaced nice and even. I got the Mcleod clutch adjusted so that it bottoms out just as the pedal hits the floor. Still got to clean up the carpet and stuff here, but in here looking good. 3 pedals, good to go, no problem. Also cleaned up some of the wiring. It's kind of a disaster back here. The fuse box up there was just kind of dangling down by the brake pedal here, so I cleaned a lot of that up, mounted that to the firewall correctly, labeled some stuff, bunch of zip ties. I'll put in a clip of how it used to look, you know, when I took the original dash out. We still got some work to do over here when I put the center console. Much better, much more organized, should be workable for now, and make it easier to wire up our ECU when that time comes. New seats in, clutch pedal and setup in, hydraulic, master cylinder in, getting stuff done. Parts are finally starting to roll in. Gotta have a drivetrain coming for this thing soon. So yeah, thanks you guys for watching, and we'll see you next time.